What's going on, 5-9 friends? Ironcane here as one of your hosts for your weekly dose of Gacha news. In today's episode, we'll be going over some interesting titles with some new announcements and collaborations thrown in the mix as well. As always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave the vid a like and subscribe to stay in the know of everything we do here at 5-9. Also, let us know in the comments what your favorite waifu is because, why not? I'm interested. Anyways, let us get right into this week's stories. The release date for Konosuba Fantastic Days has finally been announced. The game will launch on August 19th, and there will also be a showcase event on YouTube the same day which will show off some aspects of the game. Thanks to everyone who pre-registered, all players will be given 30 skip tickets, 100,000 heirs, a mini skill potion, 5 stamina beefs, a 4-star guaranteed recruit ticket, and lastly, 3,300 quartz for summoning. To get even more freebies, players can join the game's official Discord server and participate in event quizzes. Participants confident in their Konosuba knowledge across the anime, light novels, and manga can win goodies like more quartz to use in-game. I've gotten into the anime for Konosuba pretty recently, and I've really enjoyed it, so I'll definitely be giving this game a whirl. If you want to give it a try yourself, Konosuba Fantastic Days will be available on Android and iOS devices for global on August 19th. The one gacha game title that I'm embarrassed to say out loud, Rent a Girlfriend Heroine All-Stars, just had its release date announced. The game will release September 2nd for JP, with pre-registration also being open for the game currently. Speaking of pre-registration, if the game reaches 200,000 in total registrations, players will be given enough gacha currency for 2 whole multis. If you're unfamiliar with the title, allow me to inform you of what it's all about. As I imagine you could gather from the title, players will have the opportunity to, rent girlfriends with 20 heroines to rent from 9 different anime, all fully voiced. The title's gameplay is described as a romantic puzzle game, which I didn't know was a genre until today, but hey, I'm not judging. In terms of what heroines are coming, I would go over them one by one, but that's 20 names to list off, so I'll just briefly mention the 9 anime that will have representation. First up is Rent a Girlfriend. Second is Fairy Tail. Third is Domestic Girlfriend. Fourth is The 7 Deadly Sins, Dragon's Judgment. Fifth is Girlfriend. Awesome title. Sixth is Fire Force. Seventh is Boarding School Juliet. Eighth is Yamadata-kun and the 7 Witches. And lastly is Magister Negimagi Anime Final, with more heroines from other anime planned to make appearances in the future. Rent a Girlfriend will be available for Android and iOS devices for JP on September 2nd, with no word on a release date for any other versions at this time. On the topic of upcoming September releases, Dr. Stone Battlecraft will also be launching sometime next month. The mobile title is described as a strategy game that features elements from Dr. Stone, like collecting materials to craft scientific items in preparation for battle with the series' iconic characters. The goal of the game is for the player to fend off enemies, destroying their base while protecting your own. Players can also conduct search quests in which they can acquire various materials necessary for crafting. As players progress through the game, the Kingdom of Science will grow, and by collecting even more materials, the facilities inside the kingdom can be leveled up. And lastly, in story mode, players will be able to experience famous scenes from the series on their mobile devices. If the game manages to reach 300,000 pre-registrations, then all users will be gifted SR, Kohaku, and gems for summoning. After that, more gems will be given after every 50,000 pre-registration milestone. Dr. Stone Battlecraft will be available for Android and iOS devices for JP next month, with no word of any other versions coming at this time. Looking for a new gacha to play over on Global? Well, you're in luck. Neon Impact, the long-lost cousin of Genshin and Honkai Impact, just launched for Global. Okay, so it actually isn't related to Genshin or Honkai at all, but come on, how many games have Impact in their title? Seriously. Anyways, back on topic. Neon Impact is described as an endless clicker RPG, where players build squads of heroes, collect equipment, and survive against various types of foes. Basically, the game is an idle RPG with 4 major classes for units, which are Warrior, Shooter, Mage, and Pastor. For the story, Aliens are attempting to take over planet Earth, and it's up to you to stop them. As the player, you control special individuals that have the ability to use the equipment of aliens called the Chosen People. With them under your command, you lead the fight to save Earth. So, if that sounds interesting to you, and you're into idle gachas, why not give this game a try? Neon Impact is available on Android and iOS devices for global. Now, let's move on to the collaborations for this week. First up, we have a rerun of a Girls Frontline event and its collaboration with DJ Max. By completing the corresponding event, you can get a bunch of different rewards like calibration tickets, enhancement capsules, and much more. The most shiny reward out of all of them, though, is definitely the T-Doll up for grabs, L Clear. Her skill allows her to buff up random allies' damage and accuracy by 30%, and even up to 40% when she has Glory Light equipped. The collaboration just launched 2 days ago, so there's still time to nab L Clear and other goodies. Girls Frontline is available on Android and iOS devices for global, JP, KN, and CN, with this crossover event currently up on the global version. Next up is Crusaders Quest and its collaboration with Octopath Traveler. The event will add all 8 characters from Octopath, each with their unique sprites and attacks. Unfortunately, information about the collaboration other than what I've already mentioned has been fairly scarce, so I'll quickly go over the Crusaders Quest game as a whole if you're interested in the crossover event. The game is described as a real-time, fast-paced puzzle battler with 8-bit pixel graphics. So, if that at all sounds up your alley, Crusaders Quest is available on Android and iOS devices for global. And for my last story of the week, Chain Chronicle will be having a collaboration with Sword Art Online. Unfortunately, this is another scenario where information is relatively scarce. That being said, there is a trailer for the crossover event, but it's entirely in Japanese. From what I can gather from the trailer, the event will start tomorrow on the 6th and conclude on the 19th with 7 characters coming. If you'd like to take a peek at the trailer yourself, please look in the description below. Chain Chronicle is available on Android and iOS devices for global, CN, KN, and JP, with this collaboration being announced as a JP exclusive at this time. That's all for me this week. Time to throw it over to my co-host Sly, who has still yet to follow me back on Twitter. Still love you anyway, man. Take it away.
Nice.
Anywho's, on to the news for this week. Starting us off for the latter half this week will be Fate Grand Order. Summertime is still in effect as we have a new lineup of summer exclusive characters. For our 5-star SSR servant, we have Berserker class Summer Musashi. Let's go over what she's capable of. As she is a Berserker class servant, she is effective against all other classes except for Foreigner class servant. However, because she is a Berserker, she is also weak to all other servant classes. So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak. Musashi is mainly an arts servant, so she benefits from arts buffing support casters such as Tamamo, Waver, and next year's anniversary unit, Caster Artoria. On top of this, Musashi is an AoE Noble Phantasm looper, meaning she can cycle her Noble Phantasm and farm stages rather quickly. This pairs nicely with her Berserker class, as she will be type effective and dealing more damage as a result. Musashi is accompanied by 2 other 4-star servants on her banner, Summer Osakabe Hime and Summer Carmilla. Let's start with Osakabe. She is a buster servant with a huge focus on self-improvement via her upgrades to crit strength, arts effectiveness, and buster effectiveness through skills 1 and 3. But she can also be a great aid to allies with an all allies attack and sure hit buff and target focuses a single enemy. Her Noble Phantasm will also be an AoE buster attack with an additional boost to buster and crit strength to all allies for 3 turns. Overall, she's a really good buster AoE unit if needed. Moving on to Carmilla, she is more ailment based. She seals enemy skills for 1 turn, reduces defense against crit, gains crit stars on skill 1. But skills 2 and 3 were interesting considering she could reduce Noble Phantasm gauge of an enemy by 1 for 1 turn, and then charges your party's gauge after 1 turn and reduces enemies' crit, and her skill 3 would absorb all enemies' HP without killing and reduces defense. In addition, Carmilla is a quick base servant, so you could consider looping her with Scotty. Along with these new servers comes a new event, the Las Vegas Championship match. As of right now, some stages are time gated. I'm sorry for anyone watching who plays Legends and just got PTSD. Trust me, this time gate isn't so bad. Every other day, the next stage will be unlocked along with the missions for the main quest. This event is mostly focused on QP, aka in-game money, gold, etc. With this event, you can acquire a free 4-star Saber class servant, Katsushika Hokusai. The event is here until August 18th, so there are just 2 weeks left to catch up and finish the event. Going back to Passia, new sync pairs are making their debuts on Pokemon Master. First up will be Falkner and Swellow. Swellow is a support type Pokemon and a fantastic one at that. In his base kit, he has a 50% chance of healing approximately 20% HP when the opponent misses. In addition, he will increase the move gauge and speed by 1 when an opponent misses. In his grid, he has a node called Group Gloat 9. This will raise the attack, special attack, or both of all allied sync pairs by 1 when the opponent misses. See the pattern here? With Swellow being a support, you want him to be targeted by enemies to begin with. Paired with the move Fly, you will be in the air, so the opponent will miss every time, allowing all of these effects to go off. He also has Quick Tempo, which applies the move gauge acceleration effect to the allied field of play when the user first enters the battle. Lastly, Swellow also has Synchro Healing, which restores the HP of all allied sync pairs by approximately 20% of their match HP after the user uses a sync move. Next up is Sawyer. His Pokemon will be Honchkrow. Honchkrow has some interesting notes in their sync grid. There's Flag Bearer 1, which has a 20% chance of raising the attack of all allied sync pairs by 1 after the user uses a move. He also has the special attack variation of this node called Hype Up, which is the exact same description, but it's for special attack. Lastly, Honchkrow has Sync Burst, which restores 1 MP to the user for the first time its sync move is used each battle. Lastly, we have the new Pokefair in Leer and Hoopa. Hoopa is a tech-style Pokemon where he is a single-target sync nuker. In his sync grid, he has Hyperspace Hole Furious Brain, where the more the user's special attack is raised, the more it powers up the user's moves. There's also Rising Tide, but rather than just special attack, it is every stat and it powers up sync move. Lastly, there's Fast Track 2, which is a 30% chance of raising the user's speed by 1 after the Pokemon uses a move. The rerun of Tapu Bulu Legendary Arena will be making its return tomorrow, and the Battle Via has been reset as well. The voyage continues with One Piece Treasure Cruise, as Bandai has now added in challenge difficulty for Long Ring Long Land and 3D 2Y. Completing challenge difficulty for all of these quests will reward up to 36 Rainbow Gems. Starting on August 7th, the Neo Clash Rush will begin for a full month. There will be 6 Clash battles: Garp, Nightmare Luffy, Vergo, Ivankov, Duval, and Heracles. In addition, Neo Invasion Whitebeard has a chance to appear in any of these quests. It is now time for everyone's favorite time in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and that is Treasure Map! Yay. As always, there will be 3 Sugofest banners. Each banner comes with the same featured rare recruits, but the main Sugofest will change. Part 1 will have Magellan, Part 2 will have Blackbeard, and Part 3 will have Moria. Depending on which of the legends you need or want, you can choose which banner to summon on. Lastly, we have the World Journey Sugofest banner, which begins on August 11th and runs for 2 weeks. With this Sugofest, we get 6 new World Journey legends: Vivi, Rebecca, Soba, Koala, Ace, and Marco. 10 out of the 12 steps will guarantee either any World Journey character or a new World Journey character. Lastly, we have Dragalia Lost. We have received the final summer banner for the year, and it features Summer Shell, a light 1 unit, and Summer Cat Sith, a light dragon. Both will be general pool 5 stars, so unless you want both right now, there is no need to chase these units as you can acquire them at any time. It's a new week, so it's time for the next trials in the Trials of the Mighty. This week, it's Light Legion, and this trial will grant the convictions and devotions needed to Mana Spiral Vixel. As mentioned last week, we have the Shadow and Flame Lilith trials of the Mighty Battles. No further information yet on what the spirals will give, but we will be getting mana spirals for both Galacleo and Leah. Personally, I am looking forward to Galacleo the most, as she was the first Gala unit I got, so she has some special meaning. Speaking of Cleo, in this month in Dragalia Lost, we got some news pertaining to a new Yukata Cleo. No confirmation on if she will be a summonable unit or not, but she will make her appearance in the upcoming Onslaught event later this month. My hope is that she is a Flame Staff unit, but we will have to wait and see. That is all for this week's Gacha News. I'm your co-host Sly, signing us off here at 5-9 Gaming. Have a great weekend, everybody.